Hello, ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Orc coming to you with another Company of Heroes 2 1v1. Today in the north, it's been quite some time since we've seen him. It's PanzerGrenadierAngreifen. Angreifen. Dang, I always do that. No, it is Angreifen. I'm right the first time. Why am I doubting myself? He is playing the OKW. You see him over here in the blue trunks. He is bringing to the fray Feuersturm Doctrine, Elite Armor Doctrine, and Special Operations Doctrine. On the south, playing the much maligned forces of the UK, it's Pappy O'Daniel. And Pappy O'Daniel is bringing along Mobile Assault, Tactical Support, and Vanguard Operations. Now, one thing I noticed when the actual map itself was loading, it's Longreskaya, by the way, if you haven't recognized it yet already, is that all of the British commanders are quite fashionable. They have berets on, they are rocking the scarf, like, they are quite well put together, as any gentleman should be. Now, the Germans, on the other hand, we have this weird guy. He's got the whole, like, sunglasses thing going on here. And yes, one of them does have a scarf, but I think it's fair to say that the Brits win the fashion competition. Now, we are going to see Tommy squads trying to move in, and I know it's just the infantry section, but I'm going to call it Tommy squads until the cows come home, guys. I am sorry. Tommy squad's coming in to decap the center part of the map, and why the heck not? I mean, Angreifen is not yet really taking any territory outside of a strategic point or two. But does seem the map itself is going to develop as it usually does. Namely, with the southern player taking the western side of the map, and the northern player taking the eastern one. And that kind of goes that particular direction for its own slight minor reasons, but let's not get too much into that. Very, very quickly, out of Pappy O'Daniel, we are going to see a Vickers coming on, and that is going to be more than enough to really lock down these Volksgren, especially with Longreskaia's endless fire lanes. That may not be enough to really make PanzerGrenadier freak out too much, though. I mean, the guy itself, I'm pretty sure we are going to see... Will we see maybe a battle group headquarters on this particular map? I would say it's a good idea. That's just me, though, so we'll see. Meeting engagement happens over here, and poor George the second over there, just kind of picked off. Oh, nope, never mind, he's alive. I thought he was dead. Never mind, he's alive. But then, oh my gosh, Harold's down too. And although they are starting to take their own vengeance upon that Volksgren squad, that is a very, very wounded Tommy section. Not that it's going to be too much easier for the Volksgren, so it's going to get backed off any second now. It seems that Angreifen is just going to hang out as long as humanly possible. Just long enough for another squad to come in and resume the competition. How much fun will this be, ladies and gentlemen? So let's go in close on this one. The southern side throws a right hook. Takes out an actual model, and these guys takes it 20 paces, firing back and forth. Rifleman firing. It's 4-3, 3-3, 3-2. It's like the worst soccer game in the world. They're playing in reverse. 3-1. Are we going to see an actual squad go down? No, we're not. No, we're not. Instead, we see the Vickers start to light up these Volksgrens. We're also going to see the Sturmpiles over here dropping down some mines. So the next time a Britisher comes in the middle part of the map, he's going to get blown to Kingdom Come. He'd blown so far away, he'd think he was in Scotland. He will Brexit the map immediately. Maybe not that funny, but we'll get there. Early Raketten comes in from Angreifen. Not entirely sure why necessarily. There's zero, and I can't help but stress this enough. There is zero opportunity for the AEC right now. First of all, that 15 fuel, and how much that cost then after that? Another 60 on top of that. So there hasn't been enough fuel control to really warrant paying for something like this. Now, these Tommies, I hope, are going to rush forwards. No, they're not. Instead, it's just going to be a Royal Engineer squad coming out. We're going to see an upgrade on them with hazard detection. Not yet. There it is right now, though. So Angreifen's early mine play is going to get shut down. And humorously, these Volksgrens have decided to put down cover next to cover. But hey, I mean, each their own. They can float their boat, whatever you want to do. NGs are going to come in. They're going to pick off this mine. Just vacuum that beast out of there. The Raketten Riffer is the worst sniper in the world. It's like, guys, whatever you do, be very, very quiet. I'm hunting infantry. Doesn't do a whole lot though. Scares them off maybe. But not much more than that. We are going to see these Royal Engineers, and they're supported by medical supplied Tommies trying to lock down the center part of the map, and they're probably able to do so. There we go. There we go. And he's going to go hammer route for Pappy O'Daniel, by the way, is going to go hammer. Angreifen has decided to call in the lovely little battle group headquarters. He's got that medicked up, I think. We'll see that in just a second after this little meeting engagement ends. Now, if I were these engineers, I'd be booking it out of right about now. Are these guys going to go down? That could be not a huge loss, but one nonetheless. No, they make it away just barely. Alright, we can take a quick look at the base though. Yep, we are going to see that medics are going to be called in for Angreifen. And I won't say it's not a moment too soon, because it's not entirely true, but 6 minutes in, 490 to 451, he has got himself a fair bit of control on the map that has now been taken away. This strategic grab right here, this strategic point right here, victory point right here, locks down this entire center portion of the map, and it plays a much bigger role than some of the other points do on other maps. I'm falling apart in terms of actually constructing a sentence intelligently, so please forgive me on that one. We're going to see a frustration decap being attempted by these Tommies, and they're definitely doing well, and even taking out an entire Volksgren squad. Angreifen decides to not retreat them. It just takes a teensy bit too long. But a flag half-track is being called in for Angreifen, and against an AEC, I don't know how well that's going to go. Obviously, in a head-to-head kind of competition, that flag half-track is going to get owned. But purely against infantry, purely against even maybe that Vickers, it should do okay. Well, that flag half-track has been seen, and yep, here it comes in. He's going to start to unload. He's going to drop down the sides on that bad boy, and ka-chunk. He's going to force those Tommies away. In the meantime, what's happening in the middle part of the map, 469 to 451, we are going to see an STG packages have been completed on both Volksgren squads. Probably a good idea to really help them in these head-to-head infantry fights. Uh-oh. Will these engineers get seen before their deadly work is done? It seems so. And they finish it just before the flag half-track starts to unload on them. Doesn't seem to matter too much, though. He does take a fair amount of damage. Now, the question really is he going to be dumb enough to drive over top of that mine? I sincerely hope not. Middle part of the field, we're going to see the AEC is going to slide in. He's going to really start to put some hurting on these Volksgrens. Supported by the infantry, these Volksgrens really should be booking it out of there. Stern pilots lay down some of their own explosive surprises. Volksgrens are trying to hold on just long enough that the mines do not get detected. Not sure how well this is going to go. One more round could take out the rest of the squad. And they get forced away. Never mind, that mine's going to get dropped. Not going to be a big deal right there. AEC locks things down. So Pappy O'Daniel fighting rather well here. He's got himself up a slight army lead. 9 minutes into the game as well. He is not 100% controlling the game, but he's controlling a fair portion of it. AEC is going to try to slide in maybe just a little bit, maybe get a very, very distant shot, and the flag half-track and decides better of it, backs away. Middle part of the field is going to go right back to the British, though. And, yep, with a new sandbag fighting position being made, those Tommies going to be very difficult to dislodge. The AEC is just going to be quite a bugaboo as well. And I was wrong. Apparently it's much easier to dislodge Brits than you think. All you have to do is to throw an incendiary grenade out and you're all set to go. Give me a buddy, I had to take a quick drink right there. Stern pilots do find themselves with a Shrek, and won't that be kind of fun? I'm not a big fan, I've said this probably in other games before, I'm not a big fan of the Pyos having to be the anti-tank. I miss my Shrek blobs. I'm sure there are those of you out that are like, bro, you had your day in the sun, like forget it, it's over. But I miss it so much. I miss it so much. The OKW is definitely underpowered these days as compared to a lot of the other factions. Alright, coming in behind on this kind of meeting engagement just gets more and more meeting-y. Volkskrans with their STGs are going to come up against these Tommies, supported by the AEC, but we see another model drop maybe coming out of the medical supply Tommies? No. No, instead a fresh squad comes up to SMLEs. That's short magazine Lee Enfield, by the way, for you guys out there. And, yeah. They're going to definitely be pushing back on the Volkskrans. They're going to throw down themselves an incendiary grenade just because they're kind of mad. Do manage to bake one of the Brits. And we have a very, very strange lull come over the battlefield. Taking a quick look at army compositions, Pappy Daniel is going rather heavy in terms of just mainline infantry. And interestingly enough, he's bringing in an armor-piercing sniper. He's bringing the guy with the boys anti-tank rifle. The things are vicious against infantry, of course, and they're not too bad against thin-skinned vehicles either. You're also going to notice, by the way, too, that Pappy Daniel decided to go for mobile assault. So he's got the infiltration commandos, he's got the land matchers coming in later on, and for some reason the 6 VP 6-man point thing is after the land matchers. Not entirely sure why, but I'm sure we'll get a reason at some point. So infiltration commandos are going to go and definitely lock down that ISG. The second that he knows where the ISG is, he's going to shred the ever-living bejesus out of it. Schumann has gone out. These Pyos shift away, trying to give up the show of a fight. The SDGs from a close range, too, are going to do okay. Not great, but okay. Never mind, they're getting picked off like crazy. Shrek bounces around. It's kind of like, I want a home. I can see that armor-piercing sniper is a boogeyman on the move. Now, Tommy's going to run right over the top of the Schumann. Hammers the squad. Naturally doesn't take it out, but hammers them nonetheless. Captain Pfeffer is back inside this house for some god-awful reason. And the STG Volkskrans are going to find both the Royal Engineers as well as this 6-pounder. And we'll shove the Brits off this part of the map. Oh, never mind, I lied. There's the AEC. Being forced now to run back through his own fiery holocaust. He has decapped that part, but is not enough to really be a significant victory. I am curious as why PanzerGrenadier has not decided to go and tech up further, whether it's into his tier 4 or into his tier, like, 3A. Panzer 2 is not going to do a whole lot. There we go. We finally see a truck coming onto the map. Panzer 2 is not going to be what he wants in the field, so I was going to say probably taking up the final distance into that Schwerpanzer headquarters. Use that to lock down portions of this eastern side of the map. More mines going out. If you are a German and your name's not Herman, you might be laying mines. More mines going out on that northern road junction, not the most northern one, but right on the center part of the map. Volkskrans, in the meantime, do have both of these areas kind of locked down, have capped out the eastern side of the map. We're back to a 50-50 split. And where is the truck? There we go. Watch him plop down right about here, and here's a good idea. Here's a good spot. That's a good spot. Now, here comes an ISG shots, I'm sure, coming right down the center part of the map, but supported by this sniper, as effective as this barrage could be. It's not going to be seen long enough. He won't be able to actually keep eyes on long enough. Test troops won't get shredded. But this sniper, for some reason, bolts nice and close. He kind of screams, kill me now. And if he takes a couple of rounds from the ISG, we will see choppy smashy death. Does sort of seem like the Germans have decided to just lock down the eastern part of the map. This Raketwerfer does not hit at all on top of that AEC, and that's just a big, big problem right there, that is. Flak half-track to the north. Is he trying to lure, perhaps, that AEC forward? I don't know. But these two Volkskrans are trying to take out that sniper and fail to do so, unfortunately. Roquette, in the meantime, has managed to finally go into cover and to camouflage themselves out. Now, thought they were going to go forward, maybe with a tank country kind of idea, but it's not going to be the case. Instead, we're going to see Obers come out. An LMG or two could move things back into the German favor, but it's still not going to be easy. 48 to 56 army supply, even with the Obers on the field. I might have to give the advantage to the Brits, still. Most because this flak half-track's not going to do diddly squat. That's just a little bit unfortunate. This guy, what does the guy have for later material? Oh, concealing smoke. You never see this guy often enough. That's actually going to be legitimately useful. Panzer headquarters is going to go and put a couple of rounds into the AEC, and the AEC is like, oh, I'm teensy bit outgunned by that 3-centimeter autocannon over there. Maxim, in the meantime, Vickers, rather, set up over here that kind of water-cooled barrel, taking some firepower. And the flak half-track, knowing where the AEC is, starts to put rounds in on these Tommies in the center part of the map. And with that sandbag going down, it could be more than enough opportunity for him to really, really take something out worthwhile. But in exchange, he might lose some of these Volksgrens. No, he manages to make it away just barely in time. Now, I am a little bit concerned of one thing. This 6-pounder anti-tank gun can be quite devastating, but even more devastating is a loss of this machine gun. We're going to see it happen. No, he squeaks out an escape. Oof. The boy's anti-tank rifle turns the guy into mush. Mobile assault comes out, and he is calling himself in a land mattress. And that is a big, big problem. A big problem for the Germans. This thing from a distance is going to light up so much of the area, and you see probably loft rounds in immediately. Yep, there we go. And he's shown the middle part of the map too, so all he's really got to do is continual barrages anywhere close, and if he brings another land mattress and barrages 2 areas at a time, yeah, the Germans won't have anything they can do. I am curious as to whether or not it actually does friendly fire. It's something I've never tested. I'm sure somebody out there could tell me. And a Jagdpanzer is going to come in for PanzerGrenadier. A good idea against the AEC, but a bad idea against the later Allied armor. The question really is when they're going to take up to start using that. We can't safely say these Sturmpires are not enough anti-tank to fight off the AEC. And the ISG is not enough to fight off anything else. Are there 2 sandbag positions right next to each other? Yes, there are. Oy vey. Flak half-track is maybe luring out the AEC. Nope, never mind. He is being much more cowardly than I had imagined. You coward. It is your duty to die for the fatherland. Now, I think he's trying to bring in the AEC, just lure it in so that way that Jagdpanzer can slide down the road and just take him out in 2-3 shots. And if I were Pappy O'Daniel, I'd be very, very suspicious about how aggressive his ISG is going to be. And here comes the first round. Oh my gosh, and a whistles by. That could have been devastating. Could have put a damaged engine on him. Could have taken him out. Could have put a damaged engine on him. But for the first time, we are going to see an army supply lead for PanzerGrenadier. And doesn't he just deserve it a little bit too? I mean, the guy's been very, very mobile around the map. He's been putting up a ton of pressure. We're going to finally see a squad drop out of the Brits? No, we don't. Instead, we're just going to see a continual retreat. And I think now that we know that a land mattress is the army of choice, or the column of choice for Pappy O'Daniel, I think it's fairly safe to say that PanzerGrenadier will not be leaving any of his infantry support equipment all by its lonesome. Incendiary grenade coming out, I imagine, any second. Yep, there is one, and being pinned now by that flak half-track. Be a perfect opportunity to really do damage. No, instead we're going to see 2 guys go down. Next, land mattress barrage coming in, searching and trying to find that last Volksgren. Those STGs. The things are not expensive necessarily, but they're certainly not cheap. 6-pounder putting fire on top of that Jagdpanzer. Managing to do quite hefty amount of damage, takes him down to a 50% health. The AEC kind of comes in opportunistically and then realizes that's a really, really dumb idea and backs away. In the center part of the map, though, we are going to see this machine gun trying to take out these Royal Engineers and not going to be able to do it. Might even get picked off as he retreats. No, he makes it out, just barely. Now, if it's one thing I really truly am surprised about, is that the flak half-track has been on the map as long as it has been. And one thing I'm really depressed about is how often these Jagdpanzers are just missing. Jeez, it's bad. They got his accuracy buff. Those are attack ground rounds, who knows. Alright, 350 to 405. Pappy with Daniel is definitely in the lead. Not definitively, but fairly well, is probably the best way I can put it. And I just realized just now the land mattress is basically just a modern hwacha. And if you don't know what a hwacha is, it's a Korean assault artillery piece, let's say. They just had a bunch of arrows with black powder attached to them. Supremely satisfying thing to watch go off. It's basically like a giant bottle rocket launcher. Max in the middle part of the field. Is he firing incendiary rounds? Who knows? We're not entirely going to know. He's going to back off before anything else happens to his troops. There's a 5-star squad of Volksgrens on the map, but unfortunately for him, it's just been an uphill battle for Angreifen the entire map. Especially because now we're starting to see blobs from all these, Brits coming out here. There needs to be a consistent means of infantry suppression. Oh wait, there is. It's an MG34. Unfortunately for the MG34, it's not going to do enough actual damage to really be like a massive concern. See, right now it's firing on pinned troops and it's not doing diddly. Land match is coming out, going to try to take out that machine gun pretty quickly. Just you wait. First round impacts on the squad. Another round comes in right on top of them. Kaboom. He takes down to one model and he does make it away. But that land mattress is just a brutal mistress to try to fight against. In the west, you're going to see the 5-star squad actually going up against these Royal Engineers. And will they be able to take them out? Will the AEC devastate them too much? No, it won't. But we can safely say... Oh, wow. Oh, no, another Bren guy got picked up by this infantry section. So are there 2 Brens on there? No. This doesn't look like it. Sniper's going to start to light up the flak half-track, and the flak half-track has really nothing he can do besides back away.
A Firefly is ready to give someone a bloody nose.
And considering how much in the way of infantry there is over here, this is a fairly self-contained battle group unit. It's going to be very difficult to break. Sniper's there to really devastate any light-skinned armor. Yes, it's going back to base right now. 57 mil is there to put much more damage on top of them. Infantry sections have just the base of fire is going to be intense. Very hard to break them. And the 6-pounder seems like it's now in range of that Panzer headquarters. And add in the Sherman Firefly. So Sherman half-track doesn't make any sense. Sherman Firefly and it looks rather dire for PanzerGrenadier. Now, PanzerGrenadier does decide to go into the whole elite armored doctrine, so my favorite armored vehicle of the OKW is going to be called in, even more favorite than the Ostwind. Here come the Stormtiger, there to storm some Teagues. But he's not announced his presence just yet, and Pappy's like, yeah, buddy, I have taken out his tier 4 material. He should be screwed now, right? Well, if this guy has anything to say about it, then no. And I'm just waiting for that assault gun to fire its deadly payload. Somehow, that guy gets turned into red mist spaghetti sauce, really. There's nothing left of him. I mean, his boots are gone. His hat is gone. I am, again, still kind of impressed that PanzerGrenadier is holding on as well as he is. What is going to be terrifying now is now there's a second land mattress as well as a tulip rockets on top of the Sherman Firefly. So the Sherman Firefly has deadly point-and-click kind of rounds, especially against big targets, like this little Stromtiga right here. Strumtiger's like, oh look, my first playmate. Gonna fire around, not gonna do it, never mind. And what we should be doing is firing around right here, and he's gonna do so, and it's gonna probably take out that squad. Yes, he does. Those Tommies surprisingly are wounded unto death, but don't actually get taken out, which I don't like sometimes. Other land matcher starts to light him up, and this MG34 is probably not long for this world. ISG is still taking a ton of fire too. Rockets sailing in every single direction. There goes the MG. He's running back to base. And the Sherman Firefly is slowly starting to slide around to the eastern side of things. If that Sturmtiger shows its face, it's going to get lit up pretty quick. Now, it would be nice to see the sniper getting picked off if you are a German player. But,
still have 300 points remaining.
Going to be a very, very difficult prospect. 299 to 401, 26 minutes into the game. PanzerGrenadier is doing okay. He's not doing wonderful against this, but he's doing okay. Grenades are going out somewhat needlessly. These beginning predictive retreats coming out pretty much every single time. Now, if PanzerGrenadier can take out this 6-pounder, he could be in okay shape. Not great, but okay shape. Panzerfaust coming out, gets taken out. Another guy comes up with a Panzerfaust, damages the engine, booking it away, but I'm not sure. Oh, what? How did that round even go out like that? The Jagdpanzer throws out a round that goes sailing in the other direction. Now, Sherman Firefly is still kind of haunting around. Royal Engineers evade the rocket, surprisingly enough. There is just a juicy, juicy hole for them to actually hide in now. Yep, right there. And the tulip rockets from the Sherman Firefly actually also miss. So how much longer do you think things get recharged? Oh, 60 seconds. Good gosh. Wow. Jagdpanzer says, something for me to actually fight with. And takes one round and loses its main gun. That is shocking, to say the least. Okay, round does go out. Panzerschreck does come out on top of that Sherman Firefly, just back it away. But it's not enough to really re-seize part of this map. Instead, we're going to see the Captain Ripper has been decrewed. Land Mattress is firing again. Again, if you're an Axis player right now, it is not a fun time to be playing Company of Heroes. One's already lit up, and the other one's going to be lighting up too. Yep, there goes. More area denial on the map, just firing every which direction. Obers, though, are going to face off against these engineers, and God willing, they actually will be able to fight them off. Kind of surprising if they don't. Fairly even fight so far. Never mind, the engineers are going down, losing about 40%, going to 40, about 40% health. LMG's pushing them back, pushing them back, pushing them back, pushing it real good. And it seems that last... Oh, what? No, what? Oh, jeez. Obers might even go down from this. There's so much damage from those Brennans. No, we're going to see the final SWS coming in for PanzerGrenadier. Is he going to go for a King Tiger? Is that what's going on here? 237 to 399. The Germans are quite behind with, the Brits just kind of laughing at them. All their indirect fire, even with their heavier armor support, it's difficult. It's difficult to push back against. But how would I do this? If I were he, how would I do this? Okay, big deal. I mean, that'd be nice, but big deal. If he has to have a tank first, like you. There's so much indirect fire, and the infantry is such a mismatch right now. I really don't know how PanzerGrenadier really should turn his way back into this. He's trying to abuse some of the capture zones on this point. He has managed to go and decap the Western VP, 237 to 385, finally being a pure cap for the Germans. Might even be able to hold it long enough to retake it. No, he doesn't. He backs away instead. Sniper has shifted up just a teeny tiny bit. Veterancy on both sides has actually been pretty good. PanzerGrenadier has lost a squad or two, but not one to be overly concerned about necessarily. I might wonder if the ISG should just fire at the area where they think the mine is and kind of remove that bad boy as well. Might be a good idea. AEC and the sniper in the meantime are kind of sliding forward. It sounds like the name of a bad sitcom. 29 minutes and 55 seconds in, 237 to 366. The 2-1 cap again in favor of the Germans, but the Brits are back on the board. Luckily for them. And finally this mine's going to go off. After forever and a day of being there, he sacrificed one model and 80, and maybe 10% of his health, 20% of his health. I'm okay with that. Land match is firing again, good gosh. Trying to find that ISG, not succeeding in doing so. And indeed, we are going to see the Jagdpanzer sliding forward, trying to find an armored vehicle to fight. AEC takes a hammering. Another round's going to come out from the... Nope, never mind. Sturmtiger wastes its round. PanzerGrenadier, despite having a name, it's like Angreifen. Angreifen, rather. He is not attacking very much. He's being very passive about this. Tulip rockets zooming in, impacting on that Jagdpanzer. Vision block has been damaged on that bad boy. And he's taking rounds pretty much no matter where he goes in every single direction. Flak half-track taking some hurt, but not as bad as some of these other guys, unfortunately. Now, correctly, the Sturmtiger is not running out, so that way he can go and get decrewed right there. I'm kind of asking for it. Never mind, AEC does go down. Abandoned, though, for the Sturmtiger. I'm going to see the Brits try to recapture it, or we're going to see that final... Yep, there it goes. That final round going into the Sturmtiger to take it away. Brent, in the meantime, sliding over here to the eastern side, trying to decap this munitions point. Not be a great idea, under fire from the flak half-track. Going to do decently. The Verket River getting backed away, but the Firefly's not in greatest shape either. So a lot of damage going on to both players. Angreifen is definitely floating a ton of munitions. He'd be either throwing tons more grenades or getting more upgrades or something. Something's got to give. What you can say is that an incendiary grenade is going off on top of that Vickers and is doing a fair amount of damage. 230 to 345. And it looks like a Cromwell's going to be coming in. Or am I getting those silhouettes confused yet again? Vickers machine gun finally goes down. These Volksguns are going to slide forward, going to pick that up, and going to bolt for the high hills. Or the low hills. And capping out the center VP might be what he really should be doing right about now. But the Brits, at least, are down to a much, much lower position than they had been before. Dual Cromwells are going to come out, though, for Pappy O'Daniel. And this Jagdpanzer says, you got a Cromwell, I got a Jagdpanzer. I can see you and raise whatever you got, sucker. Of course, if all three of those armored vehicles move in to engage a Jagdpanzer at one time, I wouldn't be too sanguine about that. But hey, it's his bailiwick. Be interesting to see a not misaim, but an accidental round taking out that sniper. And now with another Cromwell on top of the field in addition. Like I said, that Jagdpanzer is going to be very, very much outgunned. If absolutely nothing else, the little boy's anti-tank rifle is there, the 6-pounder is there. Like, that thing's going to come forward and get taken out like instantly. And what is going on over here? Oh, my gosh, I didn't get there fast enough. But like, what the heck was going on over there? Oh my gosh, land mattress again. At this point, the mobile assault, it's just not mobile enough for the Germans to really be even able
Enemy causing trouble, trying to take one of our points.
To manage to kind of hang in there at all. I'm going to see that. Is that the Verket River that's still hanging out over here? No, it's the MG-34. So the machine gun crew did get taken out. And it's just been so much ground thrown in every direction. It's just brutal over here. Jagdpanzer has gotten caught out. One of the Cromwells in the flank, but that just heralds, tells the other two to start charging over there immediately. And 25-pounder howitzer barrage coming in as well from the Brits, and that's going to be kind of a rough cheese. What's this? Oh, signal relay. Okay, so he knows where all the enemy armored vehicles are. Yikes! And the tulip rockets just impact short. MG-34 is attempted to be picked up by these Brits, and if the Germans are really, really unlucky. We're going to see a devastating loss coming out of that. I said devastating because he really has absolutely nothing else to really suppress his infantry. The flak half-track comes close, it's going to get shredded. His machine guns come close, they get hammered by the land mattress. At this point, the Brits are just definitely in a decisive advantage.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
I do suspect it's going to be now a KT play coming out of PanzerGrenadier. It's the only chance he's got left.
One of our anti-tank guns is
Finally, the 6-pounder does go down, and if
downed. Enemies trying to take a point from us.
the Obers are successful, what they can do is they can throw... Oh no, it's going to be the Jagdpanzer just trying to blow that thing to smithereens. One more round, will it do it? No, it doesn't. It impacts on the hill. So that gun can still be used. There we go, and it dies, and physics just decides to have a supernova come out of that anti-tank gun and just shreds in every direction. 210 to 326. We have about another 80 manpower before that KT comes out, and it's not going to be a moment too soon. There it is. It has finally been called out, and that thing is a god-awful beast. I'm just so excited to see it. I mean, it's definitely going to be able to swing the play on the map if it's utilized correctly, let's say. Panzergrens in the meantime are, excuse me, not Panzergrens, Volksgrens. In the meantime, being forced away, 36-25 in, 210 to 310. Barely 100 tickets are going to separate the two groups over here. This MG is going to take some more firepower as well. KT announces its presence with a bark of its cannon. That recoilless barrel on that thing is just a god-awful beast. It's huge. The muscle brake is insane. Cromwell shows its heels to it, and only if they're lucky does he get away without getting hammered. No, instead of him, oh jeez, tulip rockets coming in, taking it down to 2/3 health already. Firefly's already got eyes on. No, don't tell me that this tank is going to go down so quickly, so embarrassingly.
Trying to take it.
Oh, good gosh. Is this going to be the death of this KT already? Main gun destroyed. This thing's been on the map for like 35 seconds. And there it goes.
Line's been cut.
That's just a heartbreak right there. And that's just been the story of the game, hasn't it? Oh well. Well, red, white, and blue, at least you're feeling a little bit patriotic. Bringing in that last bit of the factions that we haven't really seen too much represented recently. Oh, good gosh. I'm going to suspect that this Jagdpanzer is not long for this world either. Royal Engineers are going to find themselves shredded out by all of these Volksgrens. Not that it's going to be any easier for them. There's still this Regattenwerfer over here on the ground. And where is that sniper? That sniper is still prowling around. How many kills does that guy have? 21 kills? Yeah, 21 kills. Actually kind of impressive from a certain perspective. Now, what is going on over here? Oh, no, just another crewman just retreating off the field. And they're leaving a Panzerschreck out on the map. Obers might be able to run forward and pick it up. I don't know if that's going to be a successful grab. No, he's not even doing that. He's just kind of bolting over to another side of the map. Oh, look. We have the road locked down, guys. Don't you worry about us. Captured Vickers.
The enemy is determined, and we are
Yep,
down to
captured
300
Vickers.
points.
Backs away. The Tommy squad. Unfortunately for him, those land mattresses are still firing. They cannot be denied, man. That's just, I think it's too much to be handled. I think it's too much to be handled right now. The Germans, all their stuff is fairly well vetted. The flak half-track somehow has gotten to 2 stars of veterancy, which is just a shocker right there. Jagdpanzer's got 2 stars. He's got 3 mainline squads of infantry. Oh no, it was a Regattenwerfer. I thought for some reason it was a Panzerschreck. Oopsies, my bad. Not that it's going to do a whole lot anyway. It's going to continue to get shredded by the sniper, by the Cromwell, by the Bren guns. Obers slide forwards. Not a whole lot they can do, though. They're going to back away because they don't have any anti-tank, which I think is a massive, massive flaw in the German positioning, if that's how they're going to work the thing. Sturmpires are coming up to kind of try to back up the Jagdpanzer. Will we finally see the death of one of these metal beasts? Rear armor hit. Flak half-track out of control. The flak half-track gets the kill. Well done, flak half-track. But the boys' sniper over here is just going to put a hurt on that bad boy. He's got to put him now a damaged engine on him as it is already. Oh my gosh, it is so... Okay, this is such a beautiful game, though, too. Like, just the attention to detail. The next time the Firefly shoots, just watch the smoke curl almost seductively from the gun barrel. I think it's so beautiful. Ober's sliding forward, trying to pick up that sniper, but it's not going to happen.
A capture point is being overrun.
It would be kind of fun to see the Ober's throwing down some booby traps on the field, but I'm not sure. No, he has way more than enough munitions to do so. I'm kind of surprised he's not doing it then.
The enemy cut our supply line.
Damn, decent of them.
Losing a capture point.
I see the look again. The way that smoke just kind of curls out, it just drizzles off into nothingness. Ah, beautiful, beautiful game. More rounds coming in, and guys, this is going to be how it kind of goes. I think for the rest of the game, I could be wrong on this one, but just like, you know, the Germans move someplace, tons of firepower comes in, they're forced away, savaged by the sheer amount of indirect fire suppression on the field. Just look at that. The thing is a huge amount of space. The Jagdpanzer comes forward. He's trying to go and take out this other Cromwell. Not going to be able to do so, though. This Firefly's going to come up. And round's going to come out any second here. That guy is upgunned for a reason. Capture machine gun is going to go and be able to suppress these Tommies. He's not going to be able to actually pin them. He's not going to have enough time to do so. And another Vickers is coming out for the Brits. So if you're looking at the Brits right now, you're seeing a very well-rounded force. If you're looking at the OKW right now, you're seeing very vetted up force. But apparently veterancy doesn't win battles. Apparently eventually you have to have a very, say cross-cultural, cross-disciplinary kind of troop decisions on the field. Will they finally see the death of this sniper? I don't know. I don't know indeed. And somehow, despite the fact that they're heavily outnumbered, the Germans refuse to lay down and die. 42 minutes in, they are just still hanging on barely by a thread, but hanging on nonetheless. The Royal Engineers taking some rounds from the ISG that has been able to somehow rack up 4 stars of veterancy. I think it's probably going to back up right about now. No, he's still back in base. Not going to worry too much about that. Oh, yeah. You're trying to take a breath for a second. You know, these games are just constant action. And we're really testing the suspension, all these tanks and all these craters in the middle part of the field here. Oh gosh, another round comes off. If this machine gun goes down, I don't know what's going to be left. Yikes. Might even see a base dive after this one too. I'm not entirely sure about that either. But 2 times the army supply, there's really no legitimate hardcore AT left on the map. We have, what, Panzerfausts, maybe? Now they're even calling barrages in on the home base. So once that's happening, I mean, come on, that's not much left you can do. Pyos get taken out. Machine guns are devastated. All that's left is a couple squads of troops, and they're just going to get shredded by these Cromwells. Now, if I were PanzerGrenadier, I'd be tapping out right about now. And I think that's what he's going to do pretty shortly. We're going to speed this up because I don't want to draw this out any longer than it has to be. Cromwells are lighting up the base headquarters and everything like that, and going to manage to take out the battle group headquarters. And with that, I'm sure we'll see a tap out. There's nothing he can do. I'm surprised. I don't even know why he's hanging in at this point. Poor guy. Poor guy. Yes, his squads might get occasionally pinned, and yes, the Brits might find themselves occasionally kind of wounded. Flak half-track goes down, the Cromwell chases that bad boy down, and that's going to be it. PanzerGrenadier is going to tap out, and it's just unfortunate, because that is not what you want to see in terms of the end of it. You want to see a slam-bang finish. Not going to be the case, though. Instead, we're going to see 137 to 269 being the last bit of this map. So well done to Pappy Daniel. Killing that King Tiger was a huge swing, of course, but still not really the best, maybe the use of it coming out of Angreifen. Nevertheless, guys, thanks so much for tuning in for this 45-minute thriller. I'll see you guys all next time. This is Connorworks signing off. Take it easy, everybody.